Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. This week we have a great guest. This is Lefteris Heretakis. He's a designer and lecturer based in Valencia, Spain. Welcome, Lefteris.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, no problem, no problem. As always, I want to cut straight to the chase now and ask you, where did you start off and what did you do to get into the industry?
Yeah, well, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I started my life as a musician, as a violinist.
Yeah.
But then I realized I was more social. So I didn't want to be for 6-7 hours in a room practicing.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm also drawing and painting. And I went to the UK and did a foundation in art and design.
Yeah.
And those days, it was very difficult to get into a degree for graphics. So it was a tough year. And I was accepted at Kingston University for illustration with animation, where we sort of went through kind of a commando course for 3 years there.
Yeah.
And then I started working in industry, in illustration, in advertising, and branding. But I also became interested in knowing the bigger picture. So I became interested in becoming an art director, because I realized that as an illustrator, I wasn't always the best person for the job.
Yeah.
So I could also commission somebody else. So I went to the Royal College of Art in 2002 and did a master's there. Then I came out and continued working in the industry in many roles as an art director, became a freelancer. And in 2009, I started teaching visual communication design in Leeds, in England. So from there, things progressed more. I became interested also in design education, and started sort of doing some practical research in design education. And right now, I'm a lecturer and I'm also a designer. So I'm working more in branding and consultancy, and I'm also lecturing in Madrid.
That's awesome. And I guess. Was there a point where you realized that you were sort of destined for the media industry? Was there any sort of signposts or sort of calling signs that you sort of recognize now, but you maybe didn't do at the time?
Well, I think that in the older days of education, they really tested you if you were right. So if you persevered and if you sort of had passion for it and if you loved what you were doing, I guess that is the test. That if you sort of kept up and continued working in that field and enjoyed it, then you're fine.
Yeah, and I guess about your skill set then, and sort of moving through the industry. Did you find your skill sets change that much, or did you stick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you did, right?
Absolutely. I mean. We got some. I mean, this is a two-part sort of. In design and media, if you learn how to see, if you learn sort of seeing and looking, and it is one part of knowing the design skills, which don't change, but also other skills that you have to retrain and reorganize and learn new things all the time. Of course, yes, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess just talking about your designer work aside from the lecturing, what was it like, sort of getting your first clients? And was it down to luck or connections or perseverance, or was it a
perseverance? Perseverance. I became interested in learning about the industry while I was a student.
Yeah.
So I didn't wait to graduate, and I think that's what's very important for everyone, is that people need to be considering themselves as professionals from day one.
Yeah.
And treating themselves as professionals.
Yeah.
So after going around many publishing houses, in my second year of my degree, I was able to get my first children's book commission.
Yeah.
So that gave me, because I wanted to see how what I was studying applied to what I was doing, to the industry. So yes, I got my first children's book commission. It went from there, actually. Then I did more children's books, and I was doing children's books for a long time, and also editorial advertising, which I became very much interested in that as well, and book jackets. So one thing brings the other, but you have to, perseverance is the number one advice.
Yeah.
You've got to, the first thing, as long as you believe in yourself and have the skills, there is a bit of, faked until you make it. But at the same time, if you haven't got the skills, and if you haven't convinced yourself first and foremost, you can't communicate that confidence to the clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got to keep perfecting your skills, and also at the same time, take what you can until you can create what you want. So every small job brings you closer to your dream job, to your dream commission.
Yeah.
It's not about, this brief or this job is too little for me. No, take everything. And also apprenticeship. In the summers I was going to and offering myself to just sit there in agencies in London and just watch and just be there. So I was spending time with creative directors, with professional advertising creation.
Yeah.
And that gave me, sorry.
Yeah, I guess does that give you sort of like the inside track almost?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's as a student, I think, especially now, be prepared to really work for free for your mentor for a while. I'm not saying, of course, work for free, but while you're studying, be prepared to do as many apprenticeships as you can. Find somebody. Actually, people in the media industry are very approachable. We're very approachable, I think.
I hope so, right?
And very friendly. So, if somebody wants to find your mentor, find the perfect person, and then say, I want to spend some time with you, and see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and that's the best way.
Yeah, I'd like to ask your take on academic qualifications versus professional qualifications. There's a lot of sort of software companies and manufacturers out there. Does it complement someone's sort of profile, or is it just something extra that doesn't really carry much weight?
That is an excellent question, and since I've been researching design education around the world for a long time now, I can it depends very much on the institution.
Yeah.
So before you choose an institution, look at who is teaching there. Talk to the students. Find people that are practitioners. Theory is good. We need about 25% theory, 30% theory, but the most of it is practice.
Yeah.
So find out that, ensure that good practitioners, you can learn from good practitioners everything. At the same time, students need to realize that it takes time. Everybody now is used to instant gratification, push a button and we watch it. It takes time. So it takes a lot more time than you think.
Yeah.
So give yourself the time and have patience. But every day you need to be homing your skill. You need to be practicing your skill. So I think, yes, a good institution can really help. Absolutely. But as long as you know that you're doing all the learning, nobody's doing the learning for you.
Yeah.
I mean, everything I learned in my degree, I learned by myself because they gave me the starting point, but I took the starting point and run with it.
Yeah.
So, for example, as an illustration course, we did only 1 week of painting. Yeah, it's like but then I went and sort of learned everything about there was. So practicing by myself.
It's like pulling a piece of string, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And just talking about bringing your sort of creativity to broadcast media work and also your lecturing. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that, Lefteris?
Yes, of course. I mean, after a while, I became very much interested in giving back. In making sure that the next generation of designers has a continuation.
Yeah.
So I became very much interested in drawing and the way that drawing and looking can help the students become better at art and design.
Yeah.
And also, much later, if you're talking about pure media production, I started experimenting as well in podcasting and broadcasting. So so is there anything else you sort of more in that?
I was interested. You mentioned before about starting your sort of university academic years doing illustration with animation.
Yes.
Um, is there some sort of fork in the road between static and moving image? Do you follow one path or the other, or are they both the same with you?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I think that, okay, it was you have to dedicate yourself. So if you want to do animation, you have to choose. There came a point that there was a fork in the road, because, for example, an animation production can take years.
Yeah.
So you have to really enjoy animation and to go into specifically, so if you want to enjoy animation, it's a very different kind of a production than children's books or than static images. But of course, these days everything is animated. So it depends if you want to go into traditional hand-drawn animation, or sort of something that takes much more time, or stop motion, or any kind of animation. Yeah, you have to dedicate yourself to that path.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess there must have been moments in your career where you felt quite huge sort of elation, or moments of euphoria. Which ones particularly stick out for you, Lefteris?
I think it's getting your work printed and getting
Yeah,
your work out there is an amazing feeling,
yeah,
because really that's the whole point of doing something, is to get your work out there, to be seen by many people, and then the people can have a conversation about it. So as a designer, yes, that is getting your work out there is very
yeah, yeah,
great
completely.
feeling.
Amazing. And then I was just going to ask a bit of a retrospective and sort of looking back over the years. What is the measure of success in your career, Lefteris? What makes you get out of bed in the morning?
Well, this is a fantastic question. This has changed over the years. I mean, right now, of course, there seems to be design has changed a lot, but at the same time, even though there are more designers, there are less of them with attention to detail. So getting commissions and really sort of getting that attention to detail in the job is sort of very exciting for me. So my design commissions, and of course on the other hand, my education side, my students, my lessons,
Yeah,
and sort of progressing in that field as well.
yeah. I'm glad to hear that, because I'm thankful, no guest has said they do it purely for the money, which, if you're doing it just for the money, then maybe your heart and soul is not really in it.
Money is a result. It's not. It can't be.
Yeah.
It's not the goal.
Yeah.
Never make money the goal, because especially in the arts, there's no point. If you enjoy something and it shows, and the money comes.
Yeah.
You've got to focus on enjoying the process.
Yeah, completely.
And then through perseverance, the money comes. But money cannot be an end goal for anything, for any profession, for me.
Yeah. And then, just sort of looking back again, if you could tell your 18-year-old self something now, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, yes, of course. That would be to do even more experimentation with work, get even more sort of commissions, and explore the industry.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid to just take as many roles as you like. In the beginning, you got to experiment. In the beginning, you've got to try everything in the industry.
Yeah.
And have patience. I mean, I think as young people, we are quite impatient. And we don't realize the amount of time it takes something to happen. We want it right now. So patience and perseverance, I think.
Yeah, and actually, some new entrants or upcoming graduates, it may seem like a vulnerable time for them, but in many ways, it can be perhaps one of the most dynamic periods of time ever. Really, sort of like a green field. The world is your oyster sort of view.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, graduates now need to have one skill that goes really deep. So they tend to be very broad right now, and of course, you don't know what to focus as you know. But you must be in yourself know something really, really well. So take one area, and learn it deeply, and then you can go broad. But you've got to believe in yourself that you can do this one thing, and this one thing needs to. So you can have the confidence to show that confidence in a possible interview, in a possible job.
Yeah, totally. And I guess what you've been doing recently, Lefteris, you've started a podcast and you've branched out into some more things. Is there anywhere where the listeners can go for more information from you?
Yes,
I know
of
you
course.
have your own website.
Of course, thank you. Well, you can also Google Design Education Talks podcast.
Yeah,
we've published 41 episodes so far. I've also been organizing international conferences on design education. So this design education forum just finished last year. We did Alicante Design Education Forum, and this year we did Valencia Design Education Forum. So yes, this conversation of practitioners that feeds back into education.
Yeah, it sounds very exciting, that. And the website for the listeners is about.me/Heretakis. That's Heretakis.
Fantastic. It's got many links there. I have my own website, but there you'll find even more links.
That's the one-stop shop for you, is it? Well, fantastic. Well, Lefteris, I'd just like to thank you for coming on the show. It's been
thank you so much for inviting me.
Real good insight into the design world, and hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.